What is going on, guys? It is your boy Jeebus Noir here, bringing you guys a brand new video. Not a gaming video, guys, but just bringing you guys the old type of podcast because I haven't talked to you guys for a little bit. And of course, this is the MMA podcast that I'm going to start doing now. I'm going to try to do this weekly. Sometimes we won't talk about MMA. We'll sometimes just talk about MMA, of course, major thing, and then like boxing and other shit on the side. But usually this is going to be like an MMA podcast, and hopefully by next year I could get this podcast on other platforms like Spotify podcasts, Google Play podcasts, iTunes and shit like that, so other people could hear it all over the world and type of shit like that. So also, guys, if you guys are trying to look for something specific and shit like that, you guys, hopefully I'll remember to add a timestamp to see what time I start talking about other new shit, instead of you guys like scrolling and other that, like, oh, I don't want to listen to this fucking bullshit. I'm here to talk, hear about this and this guy's opinion and shit like that. So you'll see that in the description down below. Probably I'll just give you the time, of course, timestamps, so you can look it up. So let's just dive in right away into this. We don't have a lot of topics to talk about this week, So the first topic we're going to talk about is the John Jones situation, and second, the Michael Chiesa trying to sue Conor McGregor for that bus incident that's been going on lately. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the Cain Velasquez, Francis Ngannou that just got announced this week, and my opinions about this. And then after that, of course, to end it off, my UFC 232 picks and type of stuff like that. Also, guys, I know I'll kind of ramble a little bit when I talk about situations and things that are going on, but that's how I am, guys. We're just gonna you guys have to roll with those kind of punches for me, guys. But I'm sorry if I just ramble and like go somewhere really side, but I'll try to keep it main focus and type it like that as best of my ability I can. So first off, let's talk about this John Jones situation, or the people that has heard. Of course, I'm pretty sure the whole world has fucking heard about this situation, but in case if no one else has heard about it, or because maybe you live in a fucking rock or something like that. But John Jones, he's been tested positive again. Dude, he got found something in his system, a picogram of something light. I can't remember. I can't remember when it was found, what it was. I just know it was about a picogram that was found in his system. Supposedly, it doesn't help him. It doesn't help him like in strength-wise, endurance-wise, agility-wise. It's so little that it can't help him in any fucking form. So for other people that don't know, I'm pretty sure it's what it's called, a picogram, is that it's like a grain of salt or a grain of sugar. And if people have always been telling it's 48 million times if you cut it down, or 50 million. I've been finding out that it has been 58 million times. I just watched, I'm pretty sure, Jeff Nowitzki talk about it. But, Jeff Nowitzki being the golden snitch, turning into rat. And I don't want to talk about that, the little rat he's turning into. So you could believe what Jeff Nowitzki says or not, but I'm just going to go with him with this one. And that it's cutting it down to 58 million times and shit like that. So in my opinion, it's hard to believe that they even found it in the system. They're saying that it's practically invisible, that you can't even see that's how small it is and type of shit like that. But something that really caught my guard, and something that Brendan Schaub said in his podcast Below the Belt. If you haven't watched that podcast, I recommend you guys watch that podcast. Such a great podcast. If you guys are a huge MMA fan, always listen to his podcast and shit like that. Also, another thing, sorry about the video quality in this shit. I need to buy myself a camera because I'm using my laptop camera, but I don't have any camera. The other camera I had kind of like broken type of shit like that. It's going to take me like probably 3 weeks, a month to get a new camera, but if you guys give me a little bit of time, I'll get a new camera so I could look a little bit clear and type of shit like that. But to continue about the situation, that Brendan Schaub said, if he got tested 8 times out of 6 months and he got tested positive only on the 8th time, why didn't he get tested on the 1st through 7th? Because they were saying that it's due from what he got when he took that thing in July 2017. So if that thing was still in his system, I felt like, in my opinion, he should be popping the first time, not the last time, if it was from the thing that he took from July 2017. So I think that's a little bit suspicious. That's like a first key, like a first point that Brendan Schaub, well, I didn't think about, but what Brendan Schaub said, that should be a good point. That why he didn't get popped for the other times and shit like that. Oh, sorry guys, I had a burp. Fucking finish eating food. Good. So it's really hard to say. I still think Jon Jones is a great fighter. It's kind of crazy that they're moving all of this event just for Jon Jones, but maybe as well, I'm going to get a lot of things from Brendan Schaub, because he does have a couple of good points in this situation, because he practically talked a whole hour of just ranting on this bullshit. But he was talking about how UFC has been doing very poorly, and trust me, I had to do a project for school, and I had to talk about like boxing versus MMA and pay-per-view wise and shit like that. And fucking A, dude. UFC, this has been terrible for them. Terrible. That super fight from Stipe versus Daniel Cormier, the super fight of all time for heavyweights and shit like that. It did poorly. It got like maybe 240,000, I think, or maybe 300,000. And that's 300,000 is not very good, but people are giving it as if it's a good thing. Back in the day, they used to pop those numbers because of Conor McGregor, Ronda, Jon Jones. That's where their shit were primed at. They would get like at least 400, 600,000 pay-per-views every time. But now we've kind of like downgraded to 300,000 buys pay-per-view. And you know how everybody, the Zone and all these other people who are getting it, illegally streaming it, all these pay-per-view numbers are going really down. So I do feel, and I know how I say, I sign out a lot, but I do want to point that out, that I do feel like they should put this event, not this event, but they should stop doing pay-per-views and start doing the monthly subscription thing. Like the UFC Fight Pass, just to have it there, but at least have it better, like a better, what's a good word? Just a better frame, like a better system to work on it, because they have it usually the UFC TV thing on all televisions and shit like that you could download, but goddamn, everything is so bad to use. It's, for my opinion, is worse than fucking the Zone. And the Zone, pretty fucking bad. So I feel like if they want to do that, and I think that's where it's gonna start leaning, it's like a wagon, right? And now, or a car, all right, you pop the tire, you're not going that far. But this fucking pay-per-view fucking thing, 2 fucking tires already popped. Dana White is riding this shit until the fucking thing dies, till all fucking 4 wheels pop. Till he has to he's going to be driving on rim. But that's what he's going to keep on doing for all the time and shit like that. So I do feel like that they should start doing like a subscription thing and all that type of stuff. But that's just in my opinion. I want to know your guys' opinion in the comments down below. But continue talking about this Jon Jones situation. The press conference just finished right now. I just finished watching it. At this time that you guys are watching this, it is 5:28 Mountain Time, guys. Because if I say somewhere else, they're gonna say bullshit. That wasn't the time for the podcast. That the fucking conference started. It started like a 3 at around my time, I think. Or 4, I fucking don't remember, guys. But as there was, you could see that Dana, he was very defensive in that time. Where one of the guys were saying that Ariel Helwani, exactly that guy, one of the goats of fucking journalism of the fucking MMA community. Honestly, I can't fucking lie about that. If you're watching this, Ariel, good shit, boy, good shit. But how he was saying that how it was that who are the experts? Let's be honest. Even Brendan Schaub, I've heard a million people, Brett Okamoto, they're trying to say, who are these experts that you're talking about that said that does not improve Jon Jones's body? And he's right away, Dana White just went on the defensive mode and it said, talk to Nowitzki or Najitsky or whatever fucking his name is, because I already completely forgot it. go ask him, and go talk to him. And that's what Joe Rogan did the other time. I haven't finished watching all of it. Jeff Nowitzki, there we go. I was gonna say Britt Nowitzki, but Jeff Nowitzki, I'm pretty sure that's his name. I didn't finish watching the whole podcast, but you know how he's trying to explain shit and all that kind of crap. Or like that time where they were, I think it was on Sunday night, I think, where they were talking about where Jeff Nowitzki and Dana White, they were in their office, you know, and then they're like, okay, Jeff Nowitzki, you're going to explain everything, but don't say these words. And he said, okay, we're rolling. Let me say all the words that I'm not supposed to say. And I'm like, okay, you're completely awful at this shit. You should not speak again on live television. Now you practically are jeopardizing this more now than you fucking did 20 minutes ago. Good job. So it's really hard what they're doing. You know, I do kind of feel bad for the people who are living or who are going or living or watching that we're going to go watch the event in Las Vegas. That now all this situation, all this bullshit, now they're going all the way to LA and type of shit like that. I kind of feel bad for everybody like that. I would be super upset that would happen to me because I've gone to a couple of UFC events. I did go see the Conor McGregor and Khabib one. You know, my boy Max Holloway, George Masvidal. I got their fucking autographs and shit like that. So, you know, it was pretty cool. But it's kind of crazy to see all this type of shit go down. So we'll see how everything turns out like that. I could be going on a longer rant. I'm pretty sure this rant wasn't even long enough. I'm pretty sure that I was talking about more shit than about the Jon Jones situation. But in my opinion, I believe that he's fine. I don't think he's stupid enough to get caught again. You know, I know his brothers are both NFL players. Excuse me, guys. I'm not going to cut none of this bullshit out because I feel you guys should see everything that I'm just keep the shit raw. You know, both of the brothers are both in the NFL, and they've both been caught being positive with the steroids type of shit. They know that the Jones family have been very well known due to their steroids types. And there's no giving. I'm not trying to give shots to anybody like that. I love Jon Jones. I love how he fights. You know how all of his fights are just incredible, insane. When he fucking starched fucking Daniel Cormier to another fucking world, dude. Like, fucking knocked him out, and Cormier said, what the fuck just happened? Or Machida, where he decided that he was fucking swimming with dolphins when he got fucking slept. When the man said, good night. You know, so we know that we're going to have a good fight with Alexander Gustafsson. I'm glad that Alexander Gustafsson is going to accept this fight, but I do hope that he gets more money out of this. At least he gets a little bit more money from the UFC, from Dana White, you know. Or maybe he's going to take a percentage Jon Jones' purse, like 30% per, like when you're like, don't make weight, you know, let's take 30% out of your purse or something like that, or give him a little bit more credit, a little bit more points for the pay-per-view numbers. I feel like that they should do for Alexander Gustafsson to being a G and taking this fight at this time, you know, switching everything, and then I just give props to Alexander Gustafsson. We'll talk about a little bit later my picks, who I think is going to win and shit like that. So now let's jump down to this Michael Chiesa thing, this little suing situation that's going on. And I honestly think it's the biggest bullshit of all fucking time. Michael Chiesa, cool dude, met him after we finished watching exactly that Stipe Miocic fight. You know, I was talking to him and his girl, having a good chat. But it's kind of crazy that he's trying to sue Conor McGregor. I understand you're suing Conor McGregor due to the Dolly situation, and they got glass shattered and shit like that. And I do feel like you should get at least $1 million, right? Or a couple of $1,000 and shit like that due to, like, you know, suing him for all of that situation. But my man said, hold my beer. I'm not taking $1 million. I want all the money from the UFC card. I want at least $50 million. And that's where I think, okay, buddy. All right, Michael Chiesa. Are you on weed or something? They're not going to give you that shit for nothing. We're talking about the UFC. The UFC is going to help Conor McGregor to stop you getting those $50 million. They're going to have the best judges in the fucking world. Not judges, but lawyers. I don't know why I said judges. Maybe they'll pay the judges too. They'll do anything So Michael Chiesa lose. But I do feel like Michael Chiesa is going to pull some situation. And it's like, look, like a commercial, like a fucking commercial. Look, right here. And this only, limited time offer, shipping and handling included. $150,000 and we'll make this shit disappear. You won't see me again and nothing. I feel like that's how that type of situation is kind of thrown down. I do not think that he is going to get those $50 million that he wants, type of shit like that, because that's kind of fucking insane. Like, I mean, come on, dude. He doesn't want to fight. Also, Michael Chiesa is fighting on UFC 232, so we'll talk about that and his pick and who I'm going for and type of shit like that. So now let's kind of continue now on this Cain Velasquez versus Francis Ngannou, February 17th on the first ESPN card, not the ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus, January 19th, TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. Great fight. Well, of course, later on the weeks, I'll make a video about that and who I make my picks about. But this time, we just found out that Cain Velasquez just signed a deal with the UFC, a 4-fight deal. So I'm glad that he's signing that he signed a 4-fight deal. Hopefully he could be healthy and shit like that, so he could have a healthier career and stuff like that, because he has been having a little bumpy road situation kind of stuff like that. And to come back after fighting, I think his last time that he fought was in UFC 200. That was like 3 years ago. Hopefully he's still the same Cain Velasquez that he came when he fought UFC 200 and does his or when he fought Junior Dos Santos and type of shit like that, to give a good fight. Because it's been so long and he might have ring rust and type of shit like that. You're not going against any easy fucking like pony, You're not going against any easy guy, You're going against the boy Francis Ngannou, the man that he kills people with a fucking jab. Poor Alistair Overeem, dude. Kid you not, I thought the man was dead. But I thought he was dead. I thought the guy was dead. I kid you not. So, I feel this is a very risky fight for Francis Ngannou as well. Because if we have a Cain Velasquez from like when the Junior Dos Santos days, or even up to UFC 200, I think when he fought, what was it, Travis Brown? I'm not even 1,000% sure. But if he is the same Velasquez, it's going to be a long night for Ngannou. But for Francis Ngannou, if he has that ring rust, that shit's going to be it's going to be a quick one. So, it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, February 17th, guys. Mark your calendars already. I know it's going to be a great fight and shit like that. And now, for the last thing we're going to talk about is the UFC 232 picks. Of course, this time I'm going to talk about the main event and the prelims. If I kind of mistake a name and shit like that, don't fucking like pull a gun on me. I'm pretty bad with names. And I'm not going to start with the Fight Pass, because let's be honest. I get Fight Pass, but I still don't watch the Fight Pass fights. Only once in a while, until like I see someone cool, I might see this fight or not. And that is, I'm pretty sure, Hall. I'm pretty sure his name is Uriah Hall. Right? Or, yeah, Uriah Hall. I don't know why I was thinking Uriah Hall. So he's going to fight in the Fight Pass against this guy that I don't know. I think he came out of the Contender Series. People from the Contender Series have been killing it lately. So we'll see how Uriah Hall does and stuff like that. But to start off the first event of the prelims, I have my phone here in case, right here, just for the names and situation and type of stuff like that. So we got right away BJ Penn versus Ryan Hall. Of course, if you don't know who Ryan Hall is, Ryan Hall came out of the Tough House, of the Ultimate Fighter house, and I'm pretty sure it was the coaches was Uriah Faber versus and Team McGregor. And of course, McGregor's team had Artem Lobov, his best friend, practically, and Uriah Faber had Ryan Hall. And when they fought, kid you not, the boringest fight of all fucking time. I kid you not, I took a nap and there was still fucking fighting. It was the longest fucking fight I've ever seen in my life, guys. So at least BJ Penn's going to be on there because he really wanted someone that he could really grapple. He could do some jiu-jitsu and type of shit like that. He doesn't really want to bang it out. And of course, Ryan Hall, that's all he fucking does, jiu-jitsu. He said, what's fucking boxing? What's a jab? What's any of this? Kimura? I know what that is. That's Ryan Hall. It'd probably be a slow fucking fight, but I do got my boy BJ Penn. For some reason, I feel like he's going to knock him out in the second round. I know Ryan Hall doesn't really have a good chin. Fucking Artem Lobov threw a fucking jab at him. I mean, it was a fucking like Tweety Bird fucking flying out over his fucking head. So we'll see about that. Then we got Douglas Silva. He's ranked number 14 versus Peter Yan. I don't know who Peter Yang is. I honestly haven't. Pretty sure I haven't seen him fight. I'm pretty sure maybe I've seen him once, but I can't remember his fighting style and type of shit like that. But we do have Douglas Silva. I've seen a couple of fights of his. I'm pretty sure that Douglas Silva takes this win. Probably third due to decision. I don't think it's gonna go anything too crazy. Or maybe first round. I don't think it's gonna go to the second. Honestly, it's gonna end the first or the third. How? Don't know. I just know it's gonna be first or the third. All right. So now we got a little bit. Now we got a little bit more of that juicy shit, that good shit. We got Kat Zingano ranked as number 5, fighting Megan Anderson. Holy shit, guys! If you guys don't remember Megan Anderson fought Holly Holm. I'm pretty sure in Australia. I don't remember who was the main event of that fucking time. But, of course, Megan Anderson did lose. But, that was her first fight in the UFC. We know that she has great potential and a great future in the UFC. So why not? Let's do a crazy fight. Let's put Kat Zingano in there. Kat Zingano is such a good fighter. She's aggressive. She knows what she's going to do. And it's going to be a phenomenal fight. Now, this one's going to be a very tough fight. But it's really hard to say. But I do think that Megan Anderson wins by TKO first round or early second round, guys, in my opinion. And to the main event, we got Andre Arlovski, ranked number 13, versus Walt Harris. I'm pretty sure that Walt Harris has came out of the contender or something like that. I've only heard good things about Walt Harris. I haven't seen any of his fights, or maybe I did, or I just don't remember. Of course, Andre Arlovski, sometimes this man is fucking insane. Sometimes he's just like, okay, we'll just go maybe. He said, I'll give it out all the way out, or this time I'll just take it easy, because it's up to him. He needs to give it all out or no. Because sometimes if he doesn't give it all out, he pretty much loses it. And if he doesn't, or he honestly shows everything he's got, he'll get a knockout usually all the time. I think he lost his last fight, and that was against Duas due to decision. Plus, I think out of his 5 fights, all of his 5 fights have gone to decision. So hopefully he could start getting it on a little roll. Again, I mean, he's trying to build his way back up and type of shit. We'll see during the time and shit like that. Now we're gonna jump to the main event of the evening. No, I'm kidding, guys. We're gonna just start with the main event, the pay-per-view card. We're gonna talk about number 5, Chad Mendes. The boy's back. He did knock out his last opponent, and I'm pretty sure I remember that watching that fight. So I'm glad that he's fighting again. Of course, he got suspended from a 2-year bullshit that I don't think that he should have been suspended. But, he got suspended for due to some cream type of bullshit, and I think that's kind of bullshit. But, hey. But he's going to fight Alexander Volkanovski. I'm not sure if I pronounced that name, but he's ranked number 10. I really got Chad Mendes winning this fight. Pretty sure it's going to be a good fight. It's not going to be a very easy fight. I do have Chad Mendes winning this fight. Second round by knockout. Could be fight of the night. Kat Zingano versus Megan. I think that's how you say it in Australia. Megan Anderson. That could be another fight of the night. We'll see after that. So, next on the card, we got... I'm sorry if I pronounced this name wrong. I'm sorry already. But we got, in the number 5 spot, we got Ilir Latifi. I'm pretty sure Latifi versus Corey Anderson, and he's ranked number 10. So we'll see we'll see with that. They're both fucking good fighters, and it ain't gonna be a very easy fight. They're gonna be throwing down. It's gonna be a good fight, very technical fight, I think. From Latofi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But I do want Corey Anderson to win just because I've seen his fights and he's a cool dude, nice dude. Both of them are really nice and shit like that. But I do think that Corey Anderson could have the slight edge in decision. And if he doesn't win by decision, because that would be because Latofi knocked him out in the fucking first round. That's only the way that those two ways can happen. But I do think that Corey Anderson wins in decision. Alrighty then. Now we have Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa. Of course, Carlos Condit doesn't have a number. He is unranked, while Michael Chiesa is ranked number 9. And all these rankings and shit like that, if I'm wrong with something like that, don't get mad at me. I just went to the UFC website and see all of this type of bullshit. So if it's wrong, go yell at the UFC. Don't yell at me. All right? So this one's going to be a very interesting. Carlos Condit, this man, he could be like in the mafia. He could be like from like a cartel, man. You give him a gun, a bandana, he's gonna go do it. This man is wild, dude. You talk about a situation. I heard someone, I think it was on a podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, where they were like sparring, and then a Carlos Condit was like, "All right, how are we gonna take this serious?" The dude punched him hard as fuck. Carlos Condit beat the shit out of the fucking sparring partner. That they had to like, yo, we need to stop this guy. Carlos is going a little bit too far. So I'm how I said Michael Chiesa is fighting is with Carlos Condit. So I really want Michael Chiesa to win because man, he's such a cool dude, nice guy. I mean, a little bit kind of crazy with the situation with the Conor McGregor situation right there, but I think Carlos Condit could win. He's very vulnerable, or every time where I've seen him lose is due to submission. So I think if Michael Chiesa could get him to the ground really quick, I do think that Michael Chiesa does win in the first round. But if he can stop down the takedowns from Michael Chiesa, it's going to be a long night for Michael Chiesa, and Carlos Condit will win. But we're just going to have that. But hopefully Michael Chiesa could win, but I do feel that Carlos Condit will win knockout by first round. So now we're going to go to the co-main event, guys. So we got, of course, the champ Chris Cyborg versus the champ Amanda Nunes. Oof, wee. It's going to be a fucking tough-ass fight. But I'm going to say that Chris Cyborg wins this fight. I believe that Chris Cyborg is going to win this fight. Knockout by 4th round. It's really hard to say because, of course, Amanda Nunes, being Amanda Nunes, is really really incredible. But I haven't seen how Cyborg has been really a lot on the floor. I know her defense is very well. I think Chris Cyborg is going to want to clinch a lot, do a lot of elbows, a lot of knees, trying to hit the body a lot, try to get Amanda Nunes tired because, of course, Nunes usually gets tired at 135. Plus, she's already putting up weight to be at 145 against Cyborg. So we're going to have to see how she does later on in the rounds and stuff like that. So I feel like she'll be gassed out in the 4th round, but she really didn't seem gassed out when she fought Rocky Pennington. So it's gonna see how the weight. I feel it's gonna be the weight that's gonna make the difference. She punches hard and shit like that. I heard from Matt Serra's podcast, the Unfiltered podcast, I think it's called. That she wants to go aggressive and stuff like that. And I don't think that's the best situation. If Nunes really wants to fight, really wants to win this fight, I think she needs to be very technical, do a lot of kicks, a lot of jabs, and try to win that way. Because I feel like if you're trying to brawl, I don't think it's gonna end very well. So it's gonna be a great fight. I know everybody's gonna love watching this fight. So just to make this clear, my pick is Chris Cyborg, 4th round knockout. Okay, now we got the main event, and that is John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. If I'm correct, pretty sure that John Jones is number 3 and Gustafsson is 2 or something like that. I know Jones is 3. and maybe Gustafsson could be 4. I'm not exactly 1,000% how the rankings are right now, but they're fighting for the belt. That's all that matters right now, and all this situation. And I do feel that if Jones does win, people are going to talk a lot of shit. Oh, it's because of that picogram or something like that in his system. I feel like they're not going to give him that credit that he deserves if he wins his belt. I feel like they're going to say, all right, let's do a rematch. Let's do number 3. But let's do this with you clean and no picograms in your system. And I think that's how it's going to happen. I think it's a complete bullshit. I feel like if John Jones wins, it's fair game. If it was so little that it doesn't improve your body, then it should be fair game. In my opinion, guys, I want to know in your opinions in the comments down below. So it's going to be a little bit challenging, a little bit crazy. I do have John Jones winning this fight. It was super close under the Alexander Gustafsson. That one, I had neither of them winning. I honestly had a majority draw on that fight. So it's really hard to see about this fight if it's because Alexander Gustafsson really went hard in the first, second round of that fight of the first time, and then on the third, it was starting to like John Jones was already starting to figure out, and then the fourth and the fifth, Jones was already like knowing everything that Gustafsson was going to do and almost knocked out Gustafsson, I think, on the fourth round. So it's really hard to see what's going to come. I don't think John Jones is going to be throwing a lot of elbows and type of shit like from the first fight. I feel he's going to be a little bit more technical, trying to pick his striking well. For some reason, I feel like it's really hard because I know Alexander Gustafsson has very, very good wrestling and takedown defense, but it's really hard because I really want to see John Jones submit him, because he's always talking about his submission game and how he's been loving jiu-jitsu and all this type of shit. But I don't know. I think Jones wins by the second round by knockout. But we'll have to see, hopefully, how everything turns out. Put your picks down in the comments down below. Also, guys, we'll see how this new belt looks, what they're adding to the UFC, that a new belt for like a new year and type of shit like that. We'll see how the new belt looks. We'll probably talk about that in a week or two. Because after this event, the weeks are pretty dead. They're pretty a lot of no fights until the January 19th card. So we'll probably make that week. We'll talk about the belt and like the picks and shit like that. So, or maybe we'll do it a week earlier or whatever. If I'm crazy, I'll fucking just make videos, more podcasts just because I want to. We'll just see about that. Also, guys, another quick thing. Do you guys still want me to call this OnPoint or champion round, champion podcast or something like that, for this, because there's a little bit more of the MMA type of theme now. So, guys, of course, if you guys have any ideas, shoot me down in the comments down below. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast and shit like that. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.